heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Harama beef.
If you can hear me, Lord, I need you here. Don't mean to phone you on collected tears, but every now and then they do fall. But I'm ready for whenever you call. I'll be all ears. Whenever you call, it gives me chills. Whenever you call, I can't stay still, but I can't recall the last time you called. I know these things are not to stay up here, 'cause all I had, I watched it disappear. I know these wounds only have yet to heal, but I still gotta stay strong, getting ready for whenever you call. I'll be all ears. Whenever you call, it gives me chills. Whenever you call, I can't stay still, but I can't recall the last time you called.
Peace, 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 light and illumination. And welcome to another BBT Holy Day Book Club reading right here on our Facebook, YouTube, and all of our platforms at a BBT. I'm one of your muftis, your noble muftis of the BBT. Happy to be here presenting on our Friday night book club, Islam. Hoping everybody is doing well on this fine holy day, Islam. Gratitude for the noble Brian Hicks Bey. Right now, that's one of the noble songs off of the his debut album, one of his newest albums, Transportation of Raw Materials. And you can get that on all platforms. I have to be real careful with the volume of this music, because last week when we were doing book club, I legit thought that we had the music queued up. The music was playing. I'm not sure if the music was actually playing. And it may be the case now, to be honest with you, but we're going to get it together. So anyway, again, peace and love, and welcome to another BBT Holy Day Book Club reading, live on our BBT social media platforms. Islam, and Islam Chic. You know what? As I'm doing this, let me make sure I can get everything sent to the nobles. But we'll get a lot of that. We'll try to get it out if we can. But peace and love again, and welcome to another BBT Holy Day Book Club reading. On today's book club reading, peace and love, Sheik. Peace and love to all true and divine light seekers. Welcome, 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 welcome Welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy that you are here. If you are here, thank you so much for being here with us. Please tap into bbtsciencetemple.com, bbtsciencetemple.com, and just find out more about the BBT. Find out more about the BBT. Join us for class. Join us for workout. Give me just a second. Like I said, I'm kind of having some difficulties with the music, but Islam. Please visit the bbtsciencetemple.com website, morrishaberdasher.com, mypdfbooks.com, that's books with a Z. Some of our platforms from here at the BBT. And right here on the screen now, we have a seminar that we'll be doing. We'll be launching a new 2-week seminar. The founder and teacher, one of the teachers of the BBT, Sheikh Kyrie Goodman El Bay, will be hosting a 2-week course on private trust for just a $50 donation. This will be broadcast on private Zoom. If you're interested in your family, your church group, your school organization, whatever the case may be, your leadership organization, your family, learning about trust and different things as it relates to trust and, good strategies for where you should be placing, certain assets and things. This is going to be an amazing 2-week course that Sheikh presents, very smooth that a child can understand. So please, if interested, be sure to email us at goodmancurry@gmail.com. That's goodmancurry@gmail.com. You can also text 602-473-8767. That's 602-473-8767. Seats are filling up fast by the grace of Allah. And we're very excited to present this 2-week course on private trust. If you're familiar with it, I'm sure a lot of folks are familiar with probate, and a lot of people are familiar with wills. And those are things that if you attend this seminar on trust, you will learn fairly quickly why you shouldn't be doing those types of things. Raining here in the Midwest, so apologies if the connection is off a little bit. We are experiencing a thunderstorm. But again, we are having a 2-week course on private trust that's going to be sponsored by the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, hosted by Sheikh and led and taught by Sheikh Kyrie Goodman of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School for only a $50 donation. And I have one of the flyers up right now. So if you are interested in signing up for this, please don't hesitate to email us down below. Also, you can text us at the text down below. So that's the 2-week course on private trust. Again, you are tuned in to our BBT Friday night Holy Day book club reading. Please, if you can get a chance, please visit our temple and school website at bbtsciencetemple.com, a synchronized path of learning, Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, more science with a map and a guide. Please visit our website. $40 donation monthly will get you access to all of our amazing classes that we have. A lot of information a lot of illuminating, revealing information that you'll get, as a student of the Burning Bush Tabernacle. So please visit our page here. This is Sheikh Kyrie and his dad. So shout out to the elders of the temple. Please visit the website, learn a lot, come to class, check out some of our books. And with that being said, we'll get to it. That's bbtsciencetemple.com. On tonight's book club reading, of course, we're going to be doing the 2-week course on private trust, So of course, we have to introduce you to a couple pieces of wisdom, by the man himself, Sheikh Kyrie. Sheikh Kyrie, we're going to talk about a couple of Sheikh's books. He has over 15, 20 books that he's prepared, divinely prepared, gathered, compiled. And we want to talk about a couple of them tonight, introducing you to Sheikh Kyrie, some of the wisdom that Sheikh has put out there for the masses, that Sheikh has been teaching for years and years and years. Sheikh Kyrie's been teaching these things. So we want to make sure we highlight what Sheikh, has done as we prepare for our 2-week course on private trust. Please be in attendance. You don't want to miss this. Your whole life, you learned about probate court, you learned about wills, but the private trust is what you want to know about if you have never learned about it. You want to learn about it if you have never been introduced to it. If you haven't been introduced to it, you want to be introduced to it. So Sheikh has many, many books, as mentioned, but tonight we want to talk about just a few of them. For some reason, I couldn't pull certain books up, but it's all good. It's all good. We have the physicals. We have the digitals on different devices. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love to everyone who's in attendance. Tapped into us tonight. Islam and gratitude. That's a big peace and love to the Sheikh of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. Sheikh Kyrie Goodman El Bey. Peace and love, Noble. Peace and love, Sheikh. Absolutely. Gratitude, 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 love and honors to the Sheikh of the Temple. To the Sheikh of the Temple. To the Sheikh of the Temple, that's the founder, Islam. We got to go over Sheikh books tonight. We have to. I won't be too long. I can't even get the invites out, but I won't be too long. Big shout out. Islam. All right, so what we're going to do, and this is what I will have to do, we want to first go over a book here by Sheikh. I'm going to try to pop it up on the screen, but in order to do that, let me see, I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to stop doing that. Pull the first one up. Peace and love to everybody in attendance. Islam for wherever you are tuned in to. I'm broadcasting live from the St. Louis area. Midwest strong. Peace and love to everybody in the Midwest. Peace and love to wherever you are. Okay, so this is what we're doing. Is all right, so the first work by Sheikh Kyrie that I just want to kind of introduce to everyone if you are not familiar. If you're not familiar, I would like for you to get familiar with Sheikh's works. I would like for you to get familiar with Sheikh's works because Sheikh Kyrie is definitely on a level of wisdom that honestly you don't see a lot of anymore. So that's just honest to Sheikh, really. For what he's been doing consistently for years now, and the brothers, and sisters. Shout out to the empresses of the BBT. That Sheikh has just sort of gathered, just from his voice and his presence and his example and consistent message and things. So, if you do want to kind of be involved with the 2-week course for the $50 donation to our temple and school, you should want to get introduced to some of the wisdom that, the presenter and the host and the lecturer and teacher of that seminar will be bringing to the table. So one of the first works that I wanted to kind of go over tonight from Sheikh Kyrie, the Burning Bush Tabernacle, is Moorish America's Light of Ali and the Moorish Adapt Study Guide, The House of Ali, Mysticism. The Egyptian Adapt, Prophet, and Angel. It's different. You coming from a certain perspective of, just your understanding. When you see certain things, certain books, certain images, certain words that you're not familiar with, certain symbols that you're not familiar with, you might get away from that type of science or that type of book because you don't know, So seeing the cover, which, to be honest with you, this is actually not the most recent cover. Please visit our websites for the most recent one. But this is, this book is available on our websites, mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, and all of our websites. So I wanted to kind of get into this. Again, Moorish America's Light of Ali and the Moorish Adapt Study Guide, The House of Ali. Mysticism, the Egyptian Adapt, Prophet, and Angel. So I'm going to just keep that on the screen right there. Keep the cover on the screen. If you're not familiar with this brother, that is Noble Drew Ali, the Prophet. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Gratitude again for all those who are here. Gratitude, and love. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Shout out to the YouTube comments. Hey, let's get into it. So again, this is a work by Sheikh Kari Goodman of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. We have a 2-week course on private trust coming up on July 17th. July 17th, we have a 2-week course on private trust, led, hosted, taught by Sheikh Kari Goodman of the BBT. We have many works. Sheikh has many works. We'll go over a couple on our book club. Information is knowledge that should manifest into wisdom, something applicable. If you're interested in anything that we go over tonight on the book club for a $40 donation to our temple and school, we will be able to send you these books and much more. Information is knowledge that should manifest into wisdom, something applicable, meaning something that can be used and applied to daily living. When Moors know or are in the know, and subsequently, this information transferred to wisdom is power. Theoretically, the absence or lack of power is directly or indirectly attached to the lack of wisdom or insight and the ability to make righteous decisions. Moors should understand the importance of adapting and growing mentally, spiritually, and physically. We must become educated and proficient in different areas of science and business in order to place our offspring, our homes, in a position of thriving educationally, economically, forcing a large change in society. Moors cannot afford to continue to let others educate our children, teaching them pseudoscience and academia, debilitating understanding of why they need some form of applicable education. And I quote, "If I can get you to think, you can save yourself." From Noble Drew Ali. We must believe in the capacity of our group to succeed. Islam, peace and love. This is a BBT Holy Day Book Club reading. Tonight we're reading out of the one of Sheikh's books, Moorish America's Light of Ali, and the Moorish Adapt Study Guide, The House of Ali, Mysticism, the Egyptian Adapt Prophet and Angel. Moors understand that there is nothing wrong with desire and passion, but the direction and focus must be centered into beneficial and righteous outcomes. One Greek pseudo-writer was quoted to have taken a student who desired knowledge out waist deep into the ocean and then asked him, "What do you want more than anything in the world?" The student is said to have said or to have answered, "Knowledge." The teacher then submerged his head underwater. Then the student began to choke. And the teacher said again, "What do you want more than anything in the world?" The student replied, "Air." The lesson: when you want knowledge, the way the student desired air, that's when you will get it. And the battle is within. Moors must want knowledge and wisdom just as bad as we need air. And we must desire it. And we must desire what? Love, truth, freedom, justice, peace, health, and wealth. Moors must realign our goals and values, realign our communities, Islam, our commitments, and uncover our true purpose. Our true individual responsibilities as Moors is to be knowledgeable and informed, to be a valuable asset to our country, our communities, our families, and friends. Moors must position ourselves to always be what? A part of finding and implementing solutions rather than to be found among those who always manage to create more problems than they solve. Islam, and just what we've read so far from Sheikh's work, just reading this, you get, just a sense of urgency, when we really describe, like you said, just knowledge, and that's one of the things that we promote and push here on the book club reading, right? Just knowledge and being able to study knowledge, study the information, have that knowledge, study the information, and have that wisdom and apply these things to our lives. We already 25 minutes in. This is one of Sheik's works. As we continue, we have lessons of divine love. We have the Moorish Adapt Study Guide section of the book, The House of Ali, Mysticism, where we're going over Moorish mantras and commands. Know thyself, spirit, know thyself, soul, know thyself, body. Prayers of the Moors, the Moorish Science Temple. Great work. Please reach out for that. I wanted to get into one of the other pieces that we have for Sheik. Not running too long tonight. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love to all true and divine light seekers. As I get this next book out, one of the main things that we must understand as Moors is what was taken from the Moors when they labeled the Moors 3/5 of humans. There were 2/5 that were taken. Right? There were 2/5 taken. Does anyone actually know the 2/5 that were taken from the ones who were mislabeled as Blacks, African Americans now? Does anyone know those 2 of those fifths that they took? Anyone familiar with the 2/5 that were taken? Well, one of the fifths, both of the fifths, these are the 2/5 that were taken. If you're not familiar, you had nationality and you had creed. You had, nationality and you had divine creed or creed. Nationality and divine creed. So Black is not a nationality. Black is not a nationality. African American is not a nationality. Just as far as nationality is concerned, it's not a good identifier. It's not a nationality, definitely not a place of origin or anything like that. So with that being said, we try to do research on, okay, if it's not a nationality, African American, Black, these were one of the fifths that were taken, nationality and things. We want to try to research, well, what the people that they labeled as Black and African American now in the modern times, what were they identified as, or what did they identify themselves as before certain time periods? So Moor is something that you hear often, right? That Moor, and if you're not familiar, the Moors or Moors nationality, Moorish American, right? We spoke a little bit about it in last week's BBT book club, so you could kind of go back and read or go back and watch some of that for more information on that. But Black is not a nationality, and we people need to know that And with that information, you will want to just do further research on what the nationality is. But but she has a book called The Esoteric Science of the Moorish Fez. When we talk about, excuse me, we're going to go over that one last, but one here that I don't have the book for, but it's the interpretation of the divine creed of Moorish Islam by Sheikh. When we speak about the creed part of the 2/5 that we're taking, and maybe something, and I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs because we're 30 minutes in. Again, peace and love. Shout out, peace and love, Islam to all true and divine light seekers, true seekers. This is the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. And right now we're going over some books by the Sheikh of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, Sheikh Khari. Got to July 17th. She could be doing the private trust 2-week course only on Private Zone. It's filling fast. I don't want you to miss it. It's only a $50 donation to our temple and school. For more information, if you would like one of these spots, if you've never heard of a trust, maybe you've only heard of probate court. You think that's where you want your money to go, right? We all students, we all learning more. Sheik's gonna have some great information here for all of us, our families. Invite a friend to invite a friend, someone you love. Spread the word. July 17th on Private Zoom. Sheikh Khari Goodman El Bay of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School 2-week course on private trust, only a $50 donation. For more information, goodmankhari@gmail.com or text 602-473-8767. So back to it, the interpretation of the divine creed of Moorish Islam, one of Sheikh Khari's books. We want to make sure we push and we let the people know about some of the literature that Sheikh Khari has gathered and compiled. It was the worship of the wrong ideas. And in this context, we want to look at ideas as thoughts or even gods that have placed us in this predicament we are in today. We are instructed by our holy prophet to return to our own vine and fig tree and leave others alone and return unto Europe what is theirs. Surah 45, ayat 28 of the Quran of Mecca states, and I quote, "And you all will see each nation humble to their knees or kneeling. Each nation will be called to its record of deeds or vine and fig tree. This day you shall be recompensed for what you used to do." This relates to the deeds or actions, yet a deed is a manifest of thought. If Moors are using thought in manner of descent, this leaves all the room for the Lord self to manifest. Yet when the Moors know well of the Lord self, we know well of the illusions, and these pass away. This wisdom is only known when Moors have begun to make ascension, and this ascension is only through remembrance. Worship is a form of remembrance, and not the only one. Meditation is defined as the act of contemplation or reflection of spiritual matters. These words are similar as meditation and contemplation. This science is done in silence and usually in the same location whenever being exercised. And the purposes of meditation is for preference to Allah. Our Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 8, ayah 6 states, "Allah lives not in the noise of tongues. There is no way to him from any idle shrine." Surah 7, ayat 205 of the Holy Quran states, "And remember your Lord within yourself, humbly and with fear." and without loudness in words in the mornings and in the afternoons, and be not of those who are neglectful. These are confirmations of the importance of worship. It is these important truths that raise the truth or the faith of the Moorish and our pursuit of being that perfected man, Yahshua or Jesus. And our Moorish Quran was a student in many different mystery schools, which he sat in only to find commonality with those he was sent to redeem and save. Wherever Yahshua sat, he actually corrected the teachings that were given to him and passed all tests. In chapter 12, page 19 of our Moorish Quran, Ayat 1, in silent meditation, Yahshua, Jesus, sat beside a flowing spring. It was Holy Day, Friday, and many people of the servant caste were near the place. Also, chapter 11, page 18, Ayat 16 of our Moorish Quran, regard not then what any man has said, let us forget the flesh and go with mine into the land of fleshless things. Mine never does forget, and backwards through the ages or cycle of time, masterminds can trace themselves, and thus we know. Islam. Islam. A little bit of the interpretation of the Divine Creed of Moorish Islam, one of the many, many books by Sheikh Khari of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. It's the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. Just going over a couple books with Sheikh. Shout out to all those in attendance. Shout out to all those in attendance. We have just one more book that we wanted to kind of get into before we wrapped up the night. What are going to be too long? 37 minutes in. July 17th, that's a week from now. We still have seats available. One of the biggest things tonight, we wanted to make sure with our book club slot, our book club that we do each and every Friday, we made sure the community knows about the private trust 2-week course that we will be doing, that she will be hosting, leading, teaching 2-week course on private Zoom. That's a class on trust for 2 weeks, just a $50 donation to our temple and school. If you never heard of trust, if you're only familiar with probate court and doing everything you possibly can to get a will done, you might want to tell a friend and just be in attendance to this 2-week course. Information that, that a $50 donation is just a tittle of, the wisdom, that all of us will be getting, with this course. So tell a friend to tell them more and more friends about the 2-week course, July 17th on private Zoom, that the sponsored by the BBT on private trust, taught by, the man himself of the BBT, Sheikh Khari. So that was some information on the Divine Creed. Information on the Divine Creed for $40 donation. We will give you, we can send you Sheikh's books, some of Sheikh's books. You can absolutely get some of Sheikh's books for a $40 donation to our temple and school. goodmancareer@gmail.com, bbttemple2@gmail.com. Let us know for a $40 donation to our temple and school. We'd be happy to send you that information, especially if you're someone who identifies as a Black person, African American, and you would like to know your history, the history of the Moors. Come get some of that Moorish science from the BBT. As we wrap up our night, our final book that I'll bring to you. If you are, still learning about Moorish science, still learning about the Moors or Mooric Americans or Moorish American culture, you may or may not be familiar with. You may or may not, be familiar with the Moorish fairs. You may or may not be familiar with the Moorish fairs. This is another powerful work that Sheikh Goodman has gathered and compiled for the Moors. Just understanding culture, understanding, this crown that Moors wear and others have adopted. You start learning things about, certain people adopting things, and even your own people thinking that certain things don't belong to them. So this last work gathered and compiled by Sheikh Kari that I want to go over is the esoteric science of the Moorish fairs. The esoteric science of the Moorish fairs. The esoteric science of the Moorish fairs. Last work by Sheikh Kari that we'll go over tonight as we prepare in a week for the Private Trust 2-week course. If interested in learning about trust, you don't want to miss this one. Honestly, it's a lot of Moors who, and others really, who may want to know about the trust. So that class is filling up, but I definitely want to make sure we talk about it tonight on the book club reading for sure. And we bring some books that she gathered and compiled to the table. So that wisdom that she brought, is powerful. So what we'll go over now, and finally, is some information on the Moorish fairs. She has a book called The Esoteric Science of the Moorish Fairs, gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared by Noble Abner Hakim Goodman Bey. We're talking about the history of the fairs. The fairs. I have one on my head here. Originated from the city of Fez in ancient Morocco. The Fez is also known as the Tarbouche. Islam, we say Persian for head cover. Islam. The Moorish fez is made of felt shaped roughly like a canister, right? And if you've seen the fez, you might have heard a lot of people say a lot of disrespectful things about the fez, disrespectful stuff about the fez. But you might have seen this, right? Tapering slightly towards the top where there is a tassel fixed to the middle of the flat top. This sort of fez is worn by members of the Shriners fraternal organization, right? So you may have seen the Shriners. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but when we talk about adopted cultures and things, so the difference is that the fez, the fez has 4 circles on the top, and it is the custom made with Shriner emblems. They adopted the fez for themselves. We cannot go into the Shriner Fez organization because some of Moors are Shriners also. But what we can tell you, What I can tell you is that some of us are allowed to wear the fez 24 hours a day, 360 days a week. You know, the reason is because we inherited the fez from our Moorish forefathers who wore the fez during their seat of power. We are the Moors by birth and not an adopted right. The last thing that I would like to say is that all Moors must remember that Muslims are born and not made. Just giving you a little history, of the fez. If you were Moor or someone, maybe you've seen somebody in this a fez, which is the national headdress of the Moorish Americans and Moors all over the planet. You know, you melanated, you never heard of it, you didn't know that it was something that belonged to your culture, but you don't really know about your culture for real. So we'll learn a little bit more about the fez and then we'll wrap. But about 980 AD, the Hajj was interrupted, and the pilgrimages of those living west of the Nile were directed to Fez as the holy city. A Moor and Fez supplied a new style of headdress that started to be widely used by the students of a particular school. The Moorish fez became a mark of intelligence and came to be worn all along the northern shores of what today they call Africa. And the fez meant that you claimed your bloodline and that you were a high evolved noble. Islam, the red fez, symbolizes the supreme pinnacle of applicable wisdom. This original form is still worn in Tunisia, Tripoli, and Morocco. Islam. In 1826, Sultan Mahmud II of the Ottoman Empire was looking to break with tradition and update the official dress of the empire's civil service. He originally looked at a three-cornered hat of European descent, but his divan pointed out that the three corners represented the Holy Trinity, and he reconsidered. A shipment of fezzes that recently arrived from Tunisia, so they were selected instead, and it was considered the special badge of the Turkish subject and all. Even if not a Muslim, were obligated to wear it. Women wore fezzes as well, but the women were smaller without tassels. But we know that we've seen the white fez with the golden tassel, and these fezzes, women wear them. And the tradition to the fez was resisted for some time, but by the end of the century, Turkey was swept up by the Europeanization wave, and the fez became a love symbol of nationality. Islam. Just a little bit about the fez, the Moorish fez that I have on, and you may have seen Moors and different people in societies. Maybe we just spoke about the Shriners who adopted it, wearing this. Just one of the many books and works by Sheikh Kari of the BBT, going over it a little bit. Because, of course, we have the private trust course on the 2-week course in private Zoom that starts in a week, July 17th. We're just letting the people know. Shout out to anybody who would like to attend. Shout out to anyone who would like to know about trust and decides to make the decision. And email goodmancurry@gmail. Text us at 602-473-8767 if you're interested in the course on trust. Don't send your assets to probate court. What's all this about a will? Different things that we learn about our whole lives. Come learn about the real, the trust, the things that all of our families should know about. It's a 2-week course, just a $50 donation to our temple and school. Information is on the screen. All right, let's get into a couple more paragraphs of one of Sheik's books here, The History of the Fez. I could talk a little bit about the fez. It is the ancient and modern national headdress of the Moabites and the Moors. The fez is a brimless headdress, most commonly produced in scarlet red with an ebony or black tassel. The red fez is matched by the red field displayed in the Moorish national standard flag. The fez is also produced in black, white, and other color variations, indicating other meanings, social order, and social order positions, etc. The black fez is the highest degree, they say, and it is worn by the Mufti or the Moorish United Front towards Islam, enforcement, and security. The one who wears it symbolizes that he or she knows law in full and is able to defend it, including knowledge of martial arts, defense, physically and spiritually, likened to the martial arts degree of the black belt. The fez is worn as a symbol of the womb. The top of it has a nipple shape that symbolizes the navel. The strands of the tassel are 360 degrees, as in 360 degrees of knowledge. The tassel is not pinned down, as it is in these secret societies. Properly, the free flowing tassel is indicative of one who was born of the womb, endowed with an inspiring to and beyond 360 degrees of knowledge. They navigate upon the earth, and their potential is not limited, not pinned down or kept secret. However, it is sacred. The four sets of air holes are equal to the number of womb man, which is 9, and add to 13 the number of times a woman cycles per year, which is in tune with the cycle of the moon. Fez, the national headdress of the Asiatic Moorish nation of North, South, Central, Al-Morocco or Americas, including the adjoining islands. The fez is typically of red felt with an indigo black tassel. Islam, the fez is typically of red felt with indigo black tassel. The fez is the headdress of the ancient ones, the Moabite Moors, also spelled M-U-U-R. It's all the same. It was spelled many different ways in many different cultures. Islam, it is geometrically formed to represent the eternal zodiac. The body at the fez symbolizes the womb of the cosmos and the womb of woman, mother. One in the ninth, I in the ninth letter, receiving a degree regarding the fez. Hex alpha, the dual trine, is the geometric representation of the Moabite Moorish fez. The Moabite Moorish woman has given a crown of knowledge to her sons within the span of 9 months in the most illuminating school of the universe, which is her womb. The fez symbolizes her womb. In the phonetic Moorish alphabet, 1. This also symbolizes, or I, this also symbolizes the navel, I, E-Y-E. The cord extending from the I, E-Y-E, symbolizes the universal umbilical cord of universal life and represents the oneness of all life. And it also represents the tie to the source of humanity, Zodiacus, the first woman. And a little bit more, and we'll wrap it up for tonight. We got adapt class this weekend, a Sunday school this weekend, and workouts. Shout out to everybody in attendance and our BBT book club reading. And as we conclude, we'll give you another verse of the history of the fez. Right now, in the esoteric science of the Moorish fez, the circular round ball of the tassel represents the mundane circle or earth. The cord wrapped about the tassel strands hold the form of the circle or red, and they represent the unity of life through the zodiac constitution of humanity. And it also represents the cyclical and reciprocal nature of life. The strands of the tassel represent the 360 degrees of the zodiac, the highest law and authority. And authority is in civilization, the zodiac crown of light. the national headdress of the mothers and fathers of the human family, founders of civilization and masters of the cosmos, science, third to the 33rd and 360-degree master masons or masons and Eastern stars. Islam, and this is a part of the hidden truth which has been buried in the dark corner of the North Gate. The fez, the symbol of the eternal zodiac, is also called a tarbush, a tiara, a corona soul, and other names which describe its royal status. The wearing of the fez regarding masons or masons of clandestine orders. Fez is also the name of the old Moorish capitulum and city, which is located in northeast Morocco. And with that, I think we're going to wrap it up. So much more to learn about the Fez and so much other great works that Sheikh has. Islam, so much more that Sheikh has, but we're going to leave it right there. And that was, again, the exoteric science of the Moorish American Fez. We also went over the Divine Creed of Moorish Islam, the interpretation of the Divine Creed by Sheikh as well. Shout out. And we also did the Moorish America's Light of Ali, the Moorish Adapt Study Guide, the House of Ali Mysticism. Didn't go over every page, but in the week, we're kicking off the 2-week private trust, 2-week course for a $50 donation. Sheik will be live. Temple will be live. So, we are seeking donations to be in attendance. So tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell more friends that the BBT will be hosting the Private Trust 2-week course July 17th on private Zoom. GoodmanCurry@gmail.com, 602-473-8767 to get there and to be there. Peace and love and gratitude to everyone who, attended tonight. We truly appreciate, all attendance. $40 donation for all of Sheik's books, few of the books that we went over tonight a little bit, just to prepare us, for the Private Trust 2-week course. We got a chance to listen to a few excerpts from a few of Sheik's books. Please visit the bbtsciencetemple.com. That's bbtsciencetemple, .com to visit and kind of tap into everything that we're doing with the BBT, kind of learning some information from the BBT, learning a little bit more about what we had to offer with the BBT. Also visit our store, that's morrishaberdasher.com. Don't make Jeff Bezos and Amazon and all these people rich. Visit morrishaberdasher.com, where we sell for donation the regalia, Moorish science, Moorish culture regalia, that from our culture. That's morrishaberdasher.com. Also mypdfbooks.com. That's books with the Z, for all books. Also buyingbooks.com for physical books. We can buy your books as well. Please visit those websites and Zelle for donations at 602-473-8767. That's 602-473-8767. Herbs of Mayat at herbsofmayat.com for all of your delicious teas. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love again. Thank you so much if you were in attendance. Gratitudes, and honors, for all those in attendance. Peace and love to the Sheikh of the temple, that Sheikh Kari Goodman. Private trust, peace and love, Sheikh. Private Trust 2-week course, July 17th. We definitely want to just make sure, we're spreading the word on what we're doing. July 17th is starting on private Zoom. just Islam to everyone who, trust in this information and wisdom that Sheikh will be presenting, to the world. Shout out to everybody and honors Islam and gratitude to everyone who already signed up for this great 2-week course. So tonight we spoke and brought some of Sheikh books out there to the forefront. So Islam, if interested for a $40 donation, we can absolutely send those books to you for your study, especially if you're unfamiliar with Moorish science, our Divine Creed, the Moorish Fez. And if you've never looked at knowledge and education in a way that is beneficial to our generations and moving forward, please, Moorish Emeritus Lyda Ali and all the Sheikh books will definitely be able to be a benefit for the cause. So with that being said, again, peace and love, and thank you to everyone who've been rocking, tonight. We'll see you tomorrow for our workout, our More Power workout with Noble Malik L Reed and Reed L, and also our Adapt class with Sheikh. And also we have Sunday school this Sunday as well. So peace and love. And we didn't do our Moorish American prayer when we started the show. We're going to do our map to end our book club tonight. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our God, and our salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Shalom Alakim, Ayah Ash'ai, Islam, Amen, peace, light, and illumination. One more time for the one more time. Goodman Curry at Gmail, 602-473-8767. It starts in a week. It starts in a week. Private trust. No probate court. No will. Litigation. All these things we got this wisdom from Sheikh. And he's about to do this amazing 2-week course. If you want to learn any of this information on just asset protection, where that generational wealth should be, well, you'll learn it all starting July 17th, 2-week course, $50 donation to our temple and school. We appreciate all support, honors, and love to everybody. With that, we'll see y'all this weekend. Peace, 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 peace. Light and illumination. Islam.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night,